YouTube, what's up? Zach or Immortal here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Today we're jumping back into the world of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 to take a look at the Nuketown map and what it originally could have been if some changes weren't made. Of course, we all know and love Nuketown. It's been around for 4 Call of Duty titles right now, starting back in Black Ops 1, then making its way to Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and of course now Black Ops 4. Each of the Nuketown maps has been a massive success in its respective game. Everybody loves Nuketown, it seems. It's fun, it's chaotic, it's super fast paced, you get a lot of kills in a very short amount of time. It's just a good time overall, but Nuketown originally was going to be very different. Just the other day, Call of Duty actually released a little mini-series documentary on Nuketown called Declassified, where some of the developers of the Nuketown map actually broke it down and talked about their methods behind going about building it, and a few pretty interesting things actually came from this video. For starters, Nuketown was originally going to be a lot bigger. Now, in this screenshot from the video, that green area, of course, is the Nuketown map that we know now. It's been the standard Nuketown map that we've had throughout BO1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, of course, the actual aesthetics of the map have changed, but that core design has not. So, all of that area inside that little green highlight is the Nuketown map that we know and love. However, you guys can see that little left side of the map there that is still lit up and in color, just not highlighted. That was actually going to be part of Nuketown when the map was originally developed. That entire left side of the map was originally going to be used as a flank route. Now, of course, that obviously is not a part of any of the Nuketown maps. We do have some RCXD paths on that side of the map, but by foot, you cannot access any of that highlighted portion with the red arrow. Now, if that were to be a thing and we did actually have this flank route on Nuketown, of course, Nuketown as a whole would play very differently. You probably would have that really long line of sight on that far left side of the new area, and just having that extra route to try and flank around into the enemy spawn would completely change things. I feel like the spawn traps on Nuketown would not work at all. You'd have people probably spawning near that flank route rather than in the backyards of both of the houses, and you just have a ton of different lines of sight that would completely change how the map played. Oddly enough though, that flank route isn't the only thing that changed from the original Nuketown design. The very center of the map, we all know, of course, boasts 2 different vehicles reskinned for each version of Nuketown. Most iconically though, it's been the bus and the loading truck. Well, originally when Nuketown was designed, according to the developers, the bus and the loading truck were actually not there. They ended up having to put the bus and the truck there in order to provide additional cover because the center of the map was just too chaotic. I mean, could you imagine playing Nuketown without the 2 main pieces of cover in the center of the map being there? You just have 2 houses with a massive open area in the center that'd just be a chaotic standoff every single time 2 enemies walked into it. Like, when you think about it, if Nuketown didn't have the bus and the truck in the center of the map and instead had that additional flank route on the left side of the map, the entire map would be so very different. I feel like the entire pacing of the map would be thrown ajar compared to what we have now. Perhaps it could be more hectic because you could run out into the center and you'd probably just die right away since there's no cover, or perhaps it'd play a lot slower because if you run out into the center of the map, you're gonna die right away. So maybe people would play it a little bit more conservative as not to constantly risk running out into the center of the map. And while those were the 2 major changes that Nuketown underwent before its official release back in Black Ops 1, there is something else that I would like to mention about Nuketown here in this video that I think would actually be kind of cool to see. Of course, Nuketown as we know it now is the smallest map in Call of Duty. It's definitely the most fast-paced. It's the easiest opportunity to get a lot of kills in a short amount of time. But what if we had sort of a Nuketown XL? You guys can see in this image that entire right side of the picture is all grayed out. That is just sort of the background of Nuketown. That's the small like nuke development town that was built as a stage for the Nuketown map. But what if maybe we had a Nuketown XL where all those houses on the right side of the image that are currently grayed out were actually accessible and we had a much larger Nuketown map? I'm not sure exactly how it would play out. It might be kind of awkward because you have that wide open street and just a bunch of houses to run in and out of, but I mean, when you look at the Nuketown Islands and Blackouts, the time it takes to travel from house to house, so on and so forth, it doesn't really take too long, and I feel like expanding Nuketown by a little bit might not drastically hurt the overall chaos that we know and love about Nuketown. Now, of course, it wouldn't be nearly as small and compact and fast-paced as the original Nuketown map, but a Nuketown XL map might offer for some pretty interesting gameplay if you ask me. Of course, there'd be a lot more camping quarters inside of the houses, but there also might be a little bit more high-risk, high-reward scenarios available. Perhaps if you run out into the center street on that new right side of the map, you have a pretty good chance of dying, but if you're able to make it out alive and maybe get into some enemy houses, you could totally destroy the entire enemy team if they're posted up waiting for people to run in and you just happen to outplay them. Either way, I feel like Nuketown XL could be a pretty cool addition to the game. It'd definitely be a more diverse Nuketown experience than what we have so far, and I feel like it'd really add some variety to Nuketown gameplay in general. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big old thumbs up, slap that like button, it would be much appreciated. And if you guys are brand new here to the channel, be sure to go ahead and subscribe with your channel notifications turned on, that way you never miss another upload. Until next time guys, thank you once again so much for tuning in, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.